My mother-in-law confessed at my wedding that my husband didn't marry me for love. I'll never forget my wedding day. The way the sun hit the chapel windows, the smell of fresh flowers, and the laughter of friends and family all around us. Everything was perfect, at least on the surface. I was marrying James, the man I had loved for 6 years. We had met in college, and I thought I knew him completely. I trusted him with my heart, my family, and my future. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened that day. The ceremony went smoothly. Guests were seated, vows exchanged, and we were pronounced husband and wife. Everyone was smiling, tears were shed, champagne was flowing. It should have been the happiest day of my life. After the ceremony, we moved to the reception hall. There were speeches, toasts, and laughter. Everything felt surreal, like a dream. And then, just as I was about to take a sip of champagne, my mother-in-law, Margaret, stood up to give her speech. I had expected her to say something warm, maybe a story about James growing up or how proud she was of the life we were beginning. Instead, she started with a pause, looked directly at James, and said, "I just want everyone to know James didn't marry you for love." The hall went silent. I felt my stomach drop. My hands shook. The people around us froze, some whispering, some staring in disbelief. "Excuse me?" I managed to say, though my voice barely carried. Margaret continued, ignoring me completely. "I've watched him choose carefully. You're a wonderful woman, yes, but James made a decision based on convenience, stability, and the life he wanted, not because of love." I remember hearing someone gasp behind me. My cheeks burned. My dream wedding had turned into a nightmare in seconds. James stood frozen. His face went pale. He opened his mouth, then closed it again. He didn't say a word. After what felt like hours, Margaret finally sat down. People whispered, clinked glasses nervously, and I could barely breathe. I wanted to run away. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront him, to demand an explanation. But at the same time, I needed to hear him say it himself. Later, in a quiet corner of the hall, I finally cornered James. "Why?" I asked, my voice breaking. "Why didn't you tell me? Didn't you love me?" He avoided my eyes. "It's not that simple," he said quietly. I wanted to believe him, but the words were hollow. I remembered every fight, every moment of doubt, every time I'd felt like something was off. Margaret had told me the truth, but only part of it. James explained that he had loved me at one point, yes, but life had changed his feelings. He said he wanted stability, family approval, and a life that aligned with his parents' expectations. I couldn't believe it. All those years, all the late-night conversations, all the promises, and none of it meant what I thought it did. He wanted us to be happy, he said. He didn't think it mattered how I got here as long as we built a good life together. But happiness built on deception isn't really happiness. For weeks after the wedding, I felt trapped in a strange limbo. I didn't know if I should confront him, leave, or pretend everything was fine. My family tried to comfort me, but it was impossible to explain the mix of betrayal, embarrassment, and heartbreak I felt. I couldn't stop replaying the scene in my head. Her words, the silence of the guests, the look on his face. And worse, I couldn't stop thinking about what she meant. Had he ever really loved me, or had I just been convenient? Eventually, we had a long talk with James. We cried, we argued, we went over every moment of our relationship. And somewhere in that chaos, I realized something. Love is complicated. People make choices for many reasons. Sometimes selfish, sometimes practical, sometimes painful. I don't know if I'll ever feel the same way about him, but I do know this. I survived that moment. I survived the truth being laid bare in front of everyone I knew. And I'm learning that facing reality, no matter how brutal, is better than living in a fantasy. If you've ever experienced a shocking betrayal in love, family, or friendship, don't forget to subscribe to Trying Again. Here, we share real stories of heartbreak, resilience, and the complicated truths people live with. You're not alone. Months later, we rebuilt our marriage in small ways. We learned to communicate better, to be honest about feelings, and to accept that sometimes life is messy. Margaret, of course, remained opinionated, but I stopped letting her define my relationship. And I've learned one crucial lesson. The truth may hurt more than lies, but it's the only thing that can set you free. Comment. Have you ever discovered a truth about someone you loved that changed everything? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that make you question what you think you know about love, family, and trust.